Love. Obsession. A very fine line separates these two emotions. A line thin enough to spark open discussions about the behavior of fictional characters. Because of that, I thought it might be a good idea to throw my hat in the ring by comparing two characters from the game and analyzing what differentiates their emotional landscapes. For starters, let's go through a quick analysis of their respective characters. The Shorekeeper, also known as Instance 2, is an artificial being created from the research on the Sonoro, with the purpose of controlling space, assisting Rover, and or serving as the core of the Tethys system, depending on your source of information. Originally designed without emotions in mind, her time spent with Rover led her to experience them in increasing capacity. As a result, the Shorekeeper usually expresses herself in a calculated and logical manner, with occasional, clearly identifiable bursts of emotion. With Rover being the one who awakened her, the one she is designed to assist, and the one who helped her form a personality, she largely defines herself through them. For that reason, most of her emotions and the actions she takes outside of her intended behavior involve Rover. In contrast to that, we have Imeth. Imeth is a bright girl bursting with emotion. She is popular with a wide range of people through her activities as a digital idol, her numerous hobbies, her general talent, and her overall approachable nature. Though only parts of those are her genuine personality. Having experienced considerable loss in her childhood, even to the point of losing the memories of the loss itself, she walled herself off from the outside world as a protection mechanism. Sensing the same feeling of loss from Rover during their time together allowed her to open up again, before once again losing her parent figure when Rover left Lahai Roi. This reinforced loss, alongside some behaviors she picked up from her foster parent, led to the development of an unfulfilled need for connection, which in turn caused the creation of a sort of proxy personality. A protective layer veiling her inner emotions, acting both as a social shield and a mask to better fit in with society. All in all, she doesn't have a specific goal or motivation, aside from her subconscious drive for social connection. She doesn't have any preference when it comes to food, she doesn't care what kind of hobby she pursues, all that matters is that it lets her interact with other people. Only two things allow her to express her deepest emotions: her songs, and the one who gave her the happiness to go on. To start our interpersonal analysis, let's focus on something easy and surface level. How honest are they with Rover? As you probably know, both the Shorekeeper and Imeth withheld information about the motivation behind their actions, because they knew Rover would try and stop them from sacrificing themselves. In light of that, the way they handle this dishonesty and being caught on their lie is more important for our analysis than the fact that they lied at all. The first piece of information withheld by the Shorekeeper, although not really a deception, is the reason Rover left the Black Shores. According to her and another crew robot, this is one of the secrets the past Black Shores leader forbade her to reveal, and she communicates it as such. As is to be expected, the Shorekeeper's matter-of-fact nature leads her to present the facts without any emotional influence or motivation. Where other people might have avoided the topic or feigned ignorance, she simply follows the order given to her and nothing else. However, this doesn't mean she isn't capable of actual lies. When encountering the dying Bloombearer in the Tethys underground, the Shorekeeper tells a white lie in order to calm him in his last moments. While not directed at Rover, she brings it up with them shortly after, commenting on a change within her, though this isn't the first time she told this kind of lie by imitating past Rover. This means she also could have told a white lie to Rover when they ask about their past decisions, but chose not to. But it only takes a few minutes until the Shorekeeper actively tries to deceive Rover by dodging a question. Knowing full well that Rover would try to stop her if she revealed her actual goal, she deflects by only revealing the immediate steps. But that is as far as the dishonesties go. The topic doesn't get brought up again until after the Shorekeeper is saved, where she confesses that she lied about her role in repairing the Tethys system, because she wanted to see what Rover experienced on their travels. When it comes to Imif, like I mentioned before, she is already somewhat deceptive in nature when it comes to her emotions, so I will focus on the two major secrets she kept from Rover. The nature of Sigilum, and her plan once the reactor core is returned to the Strider. I'm excluding the fact that she's Rover's foster child because she didn't really intend to hide that, and was just waiting for the right moment. Both of these deceptions are set up after encountering Imif and Sigilum for the first time. Imif needs Rover for her plan to work, but she doesn't want him to get involved more than they need to. So she tells Rover what they need to know about the plan, completely unprompted, but leaves out the delicate details. In an ideal world for her, this would have been it. They return the Strider core, restore Imif's powers, and go separate ways again. No additional hardship for Rover and close to no difficult feelings for Imif. But that's not what happens. Both the player and Rover immediately clock that she's leaving things out, mostly because she has the same smile glued to her face no matter the topic, and because her explanation sounds like she practiced it at least 10 times before talking to us. But Rover decides to trust her, commenting on the deception yet accepting it on a not all but enough for now basis. Rover already begins to suspect that there might be a deception related to Sigilum, and with that train of thought placed in our head, we begin to miss the second deception. That thought is reinforced when we meet Sigilum again and Rover notices the difference in frequency between what Imif told us and what it actually is. Once again, I won't really talk about the whole family thing because it's like she's not even trying to hide it. Obviously, Imif knows her deception won't hold if Sigilum interacts with Rover, so she tries her best to drive it away as fast as possible, only furthering our suspicions. When Rover later asks Imif what she intends to do once this is over, we have no chance to smell the lie.
Imif, once you get all your power back, will people be able to see you again?
Hard to say. There's no precedent for my situation. It's all just theory.
But what if it works? What would you want to do then?
Haven't decided. But I'm definitely going on a proper tour of the academy. If that happens, can you come with me?
Her answer comes so quick and natural because she has long made peace with her decision. So why does she succeed at one lie, but fails at another? Because she knows she can't keep something so deeply connected to Rover's past from them, yet tries anyway for the sake of protecting their peace. That emotional conflict breaks through her mask with ease. Yet even after telling part of the story, Imif pleads to Rover. Please don't ask for more. I can't stand seeing the pain on your face. And that is what leads to what some people interpret as an unstable mind of someone akin to a yandere. Pain, anger and sorrow, born from empathy, mixed in with her cracking facade. Only after she drops the failing deception do we see the weight fall from her shoulders and her inner child emerge. She isn't a malicious person, nor controlling girlfriend, just a child that knows it did something wrong. But the second deception isn't related to Rover at all, and that's why it succeeds. It is her decision, a sacrifice meant for the people of Lahairoi. She already made up her mind, and if she could, she would have done it long before we arrived. There is no doubt, and so the facade remains perfect. And with that, it is time to move on to our second topic. One of the important factors when evaluating the love between two people is how they fare apart from their respective partner. In a healthy relationship, both should be able to lead a life without the other person, usually expressed through individual hobbies and friend groups. An unhealthy relationship doesn't allow for that. In that case, one of the partners has become too dependent on the other person, be it for internal or external reasons, and is unable to do anything unrelated to their partner. People like Imif, devoid of meaning and purpose, are in danger of such behavior. They risk superimposing their partner's ideals and goals onto themselves, or even just their general well-being. Luckily, she avoided such a fate. Still, after losing Rover, she was left aimless, doing anything that comes to mind in hopes of filling that hole in her heart, even seeking Rover in Rover's friends. But nothing really mattered, not even Rover's goal of saving the world. If she could do anything, that meant she didn't care about anything. Until she began expressing her feelings through her songs. The one thing she didn't do for others would be the one to bring her genuine connection and purpose. the students of Star Church Academy began resonating with the songs published under the artist name Fleet Snowfluff. And in time, a community developed that not only cherished her, but also each other. Finally, IMF found something she cared about, and she cared enough to sacrifice her future for it. Not to be a savior like her parent, but to protect those hopeful lives. So let's talk about how the Shorekeeper spent her time while the Astral Modulator was away. Obviously, her main task was guarding the Black Shores and assisting Tethys, but what about any other interests? She did have a garden that she would retrieve plants from the Bank of Life for, but according to Kunana, she hasn't done that in exactly 20 years, 5 months and 17 days as of the time of Rover's arrival. But surely she interacted with those she watched over, right? Well, judging by how Alto and the other Black Shore members describe her, most people never actually interacted with the elusive guardian of the Black Shores, especially during the last 20 years. We know she was confined to the underground for some time, but there still was a period of time during which she was free to move and act, and even after she was still capable of projecting herself. But she doesn't do so. Even the crew robots tending to her garden, the Eidoscope, haven't seen her in the past 20 years, since she usually masks her physical presence through her sonoro. This doesn't look good. What is she doing during all this time? Can we really call someone who spent the last 2 decades only calculating data human? I think my pupil put it best.
She stands guard outside all laws, all patterns. But total detachment from the world isn't always a good thing. That isn't my divination. I can't read her. But I see it, loud and clear.
Let's return to a topic involving Rover. Communication is another core pillar of a healthy relationship. Every person communicates their love differently, and by identifying that love language, we can observe how they really feel about the other person. Since the Shorekeeper doesn't possess innate emotions, she communicates her feelings through words. In a very matter-of-fact fashion, she states her thoughts and wishes, making every such statement a one-to-one glimpse into her mental state. And those statements are very telling once you know what to look for. While the Shorekeeper verbally expresses her feelings for Rover in a number of ways, one wish stands out from the rest. With a total of 14 distinct quotes in 1.3's main quest alone, expressing her wish to be with us, or having been with us, her desire to be on our side dominates every other thought and feeling. And that pattern never changes. As small as her presence in 1.4 is, with only 2 short interactions inside the Somnoir, she still manages to sneak in that thought twice. To this day, the game reminds us that the Shorekeeper wishes to be with Rover and watches over them. We are starting to get close to the root of the problem. In comparison, IMF is someone who expresses her love through touch. Due to her emotional disconnect with her surroundings, she doesn't exactly have the most practice with formulating her inner feelings. Hence, she uses familiar gestures and physical touch to communicate that she truly cares. Throughout the entirety of her quest, I could find 4 boobs and 2 instances of physical touch that expressed a wide range of emotions, from longing to concern to sorrowful sympathy. But all of them said, "I truly care about you." The reason why we end up with only 6 of those moments, expressing a far wider range of wishes, isn't because she doesn't have a physical body. It is because IMF knows when to let go and to leave space. What do you do when life doesn't allow you to be with the one you love? You need to let them go. IMF understands this. Ever since Rover left, she knew she'd have to continue without them, as much as she wished otherwise. Even after reuniting many years later, she takes it as a momentary blessing instead of a return to the old days. She accepts the new life they are living and even welcomes it, because it means they won't be alone when she's gone. And so, she lets go. The Shorekeeper doesn't understand that. Rover left the Black Shores for a reason. There was a plan. And according to what we've been told, that plan involved our lost memories. So why are we back already? Our journey just started. What changed? It certainly doesn't seem to be Abby, judging by the shopkeeper's surprise. What purpose is there in losing our memories when we immediately get reintroduced into our old life with less knowledge and less capabilities? It's because the shopkeeper made it so. As dependent on Rover as she is, she couldn't bear spending her time alone at the Black Shores. And so she spent it observing us. Did you ever wonder why the person so integrated into the Teffer system that she can't even meet those watching over her garden is right next to us the moment we set foot in Huanglong? And the moment she witnesses someone get close to her precious star, she intervenes. When was the last time we saw Yang Yang? That's right before we get teleported to the Black Shores. By the shopkeeper. In person, mind you. So much for her being confined to the underground. Everyone can clearly see that Yang Yang, the mascot of the game, was meant to be Rover's travel companion. Even her voice lines confirm that she's willing to follow us to the end of the earth. And yet we haven't seen her since 1.3. Ever since the shopkeeper quite literally took her place when she actively split up our little group. All that for a simple reason. Because the one reawakened under the stars was her. Because the one who took that form by our power was her. Because the one who walked with us through the countryside was her. Because the one we told to seek their own answers was her. Because the one who keeps secrets, guards the shore, sustains that coast and waits for our return is her. And she won't allow anyone to take that place. No other entity of energy, no other being, but her. Never. In conclusion, I don't trust the shopkeeper. Never have. To put it in Buling's words, a trained diviner, I can't read her. And that scares me. Just take a look at this.
Yes. I'm here to help and protect you, just like I always have.
The moment we ask a question about our past, she pauses, analyzing tens, if not hundreds of possible answers, before landing on a simple yes. And the worst thing? I can't tell if she's lying. That deadpan expression gives nothing away. And the sudden switch to a smile at the end, as if to signal you're supposed to feel reassured and trust me, sends shivers down my spine. With someone like Imif, it's easy to read her body language like a book. But with someone like the shopkeeper, who isn't supposed to have body language to begin with, how can I know if what she's telling is the truth? She has the absolute power in this dynamic. She's the one with all the knowledge of the Teffer system, and it would be easy for her to stage a small little play to make us trust her. Everyone who doesn't comply gets kicked out like Hoda. She says she and the Teffer system are distinctly different, yet the entity at the heart of the Teffer system might indeed be the Teffer system itself. Teffer says the shopkeeper will be the new core computational unit, yet she has been for the past 20 years. She says she's confined to the underground due to being the core computational unit, yet she has no issue being our personal Uber. Nothing about her makes sense, which is why I've decided not to believe a single word surrounding her that isn't substantiated by a trustworthy external source. What else am I supposed to do when the disappearance of one of the larger factions of Huanglong, the CSC, bears her signature symbols, crystals and butterflies? You are free to disagree with me on this one, but I consider her a Trojan horse, a poison gift, a blade constantly held to our throat. But let me know what you think and if I convinced you. And remember, the shopkeeper is always watching over us. Always.